the world of the Sonder Effect. I'm Sidi Nakalatse. I'm a licensed therapist, um, world traveler, knower of many things. And this is
Nahid Fatahi. I'm also a licensed therapist and a self-compassion coach. I want to become a world traveler with my beautiful friend. And we are here to introduce you our new podcast,
the Sonder Effect.
The Sonder Effect.
Yeah. And so, so Sonder is a new word developed by Daniel something Koenig.
Yeah.
And
in 2012.
Yeah. So it's really new, really new. But it captures a feeling, an experience that we thought really spoke to a lot of our conversations, right? And I guess to quote his definition, Sonder is the realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own, populated with their own ambitions, friends, routines, worries, and inherited craziness. So, yeah.
It also says that you're the main character and the supporting actor. And that role sometimes changes in our lives for all of us.
Yeah.
Isn't that so true?
Yeah, like the ebb and flow, right? Like even the little things that you do in community impact other people. So yeah.
Big or small.
Yeah.
Positive or negative.
Yeah. Essentially every action, right? Everything and anything.
Every action, there is a reaction to it.
Yeah, for sure.
And just so for us to realize that our every action will have a reaction and will impact somebody, somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, yeah. So we thought, what an idea to bring forward
to the world.
Yeah.
And so this is our first episode. We're not professional filmmakers, podcasters.
We're definitely learning as we go.
We are learning as we go.
Yeah.
Right? With the quality of our videos to our sound effect and probably how we will run our podcast.
Yeah.
And we invite you to
join us on the ride. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Sonder Effect, right? We're experiencing this as we go. And our hope is that we will become more like professional, more better at filming.
And I think also maybe, because I know we've talked about expanding therapy, right? Beyond the four walls of
the one-on-one.
office.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I think for each of us too, right? It's really integrating and calling therapy into practice in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, our entire lives, I mean, you and I are therapists. And one of the reasons we actually thought about this podcast is we met at work and we started to talk. And then days later, hours later, we were still talking. And sometimes we would laugh at the things we were sharing with one another. And sometimes we would cry. And then one day, we talked about like, I wonder what would somebody say if they heard our conversation. Do you remember that?
Not really, but go ahead. That was your idea, but that's okay.
I think I was just telling you, we were just laughing at something. And I said, I wonder if anybody else would find this funny or interesting.
Yeah.
And so then we said, why don't we try it? Let's have a podcast. Let's talk about some of these things.
Yeah.
Because it affects everyone.
Yeah. And that's already a theme in a lot of your work too, right? As a writer and activist and, you know, highlighting stories that are kind of unseen, right?
I'm trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot that is happening in the world, and our attention sometimes is just so focused on one or two things. How can we see beyond what is right in front of us?
Mm. Yeah. Like sometimes things are right in front of us and not out in this other world that we feel so disconnected with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how can we bring that connectedness? Because at the end of the day, aren't our stories and narratives so similar?
Mm. Yeah. There's like themes that you can resonate with, in
Yeah.
everybody's story, right?
And everybody's story.
Yeah.
Um, when we talked about this podcast with some friends and families, they were cheering us on, and they were saying, yeah, this would be good, try it. And they already were coming up with some questions. They're like, well, I want you to, talk about this particular topic, or I want you to talk about this particular topic, both from a
Mm-hmm.
therapeutic perspective
Mm-hmm.
and also from a human experience, human connection perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 No, and so I think this we're exploring, we're trying, we're doing, putting our money where our mouth is. Um, yeah, and hopefully we highlight a lot of really beautiful and connecting stories, right? That we have lived, or maybe other people have lived, or just becoming aware of um, the stories that are constantly around us.
Yeah, yeah. And so we will be talking about relationships,
Mm-hmm.
platonic and
Not so platonic.
the fun stuff, the heartaches,
Yes, the pains.
the pain. We'll be talking about our everyday, what is happening in the news, what is happening in the US, what is happening in the world, because
Yeah,
we all are affected by the things that are happening around us
yeah,
on any given day.
yeah. And I think too, we mentioned that the world is kind of in need of a lot of healing right now,
Mhm.
and story is definitely healing. And so, hopefully, in this connectivity and story, that we can bring healing or help people find their own healing.
Yeah. So we invite you to come on this journey with us. Be patient with us as we are finding our way through it. And um, send us questions in the comment section. Send us questions, and we will take those questions and we will talk about it. We will sort of bring our own experiences to your questions, both from a personal perspective and also a therapeutic perspective.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, I think one of the reasons I became a therapist was to kind of see the unseen and to know people's stories. And so I think we look forward to being able to know more and become more aware of people's lived experiences and how we affect, or how maybe we can maybe affect, because this also can be empowering, right? To know that we have a role in other people's lives. And when you know that, how can you do better to create positive impact?
Yeah, we certainly do.
Yeah.
So we have a podcast on Apple
Mm-hmm. Apple
Podcast,
Podcasts.
Spotify, uh, YouTube, and we'll have short clips on TikTok. So please find us, follow us, send us questions, and we are very excited for this journey. We are hoping to have uh, one episode each week to start with, and we will just kind of based on that we'll move along.
Yeah, we'll build. We'll see what's important to people. Um, yeah, and maybe learn a lot during, along the way, right? Learn
Yeah,
a lot about things that maybe we weren't aware of, even in starting this journey. So it's a learning for everybody.
it is. It is. I teach psychology as an adjunct faculty, and every time I teach, every time I prepare for my next class, I realize how much I don't know actually.
Mm. Yeah, like that whole thing, like the more I know, the more I,
The more I know, the more I know how much I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And being okay with that too. That can also be a journey in itself to be
Yeah.
okay that you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Because imagine if you knew everything, then it would be such a boring life.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything you're looking forward to becoming aware of?
Something that I want to be more aware of.
Yeah, or something that in this Sonder effect you're hoping to.
I want to see, I want to learn more about how people come back. And I love those restarting stories.
Mm,
I want to learn more about those
mm,
because I think it brings so much courage to, I have started, sometimes I feel like over and over. Um, those are the type of stories that I'm very gravitated towards.
mm.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the reasons I became a therapist was kind of the way I said it to myself was to see the unseen.
Mm.
Like even again, the way I thought about it at the time as a younger person was like, hey, like, you pass, especially living in the Bay Area, right,
Mm-hmm.
in a city, there's a lot of unhoused people, and you cross various unhoused people throughout your day. And each of those people have a story, and they have a life, and they have a past life, they have a present life, and they will have a future life. And um, yeah, that just really stood out to me.
Mm.
And so I kind of wanted to see the unseen and know the unknown, and take the time to sit with folks in their lives, in their experience, even if it's a blip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. The Sonder Effect.
yeah,
We all are in this experiencing these complex life stories, and sometimes it feels very um, lonely,
mm-hmm.
as if I'm the only person who is going through this experience. When the reality is that at any given moment, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are
Yeah,
experiencing very similar,
yeah,
um, state of being.
yeah. I think we forget that, and then we feel very disconnected, and then we suffer and get lonely and angry and disillusioned. So
Yeah.
if there are ways to bring people back into that community, right, then I'm all for it, right? And
I'm all
certainly
for it.
is a motivator for the Sonder effect.
Yeah. So, um, 2025
Mm,
for us, it's February 2nd today,
yeah,
is starting with the Sonder Effect.
yeah,
We will continue each week. We will talk about a particular topic, and yeah, just come along on this fantastic journey with us.
yeah, yeah. I look forward to seeing you, hearing from you, knowing more about your stories.
Yes. My name is Nahid Fatahi, and I'm here with you with the Sonder Effect.
City Nakalatse, also along for the ride, here with the Sonder effect.
Fantastic. We'll
Yeah.
see you next week.